Rob, on these kelp products, um, would you say the market needs to explain their products a little bit better so we'd know how to use them effectively?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and then I guess maybe I'm just too involved in it. But when I see a product that's just, oh, this is kelp, apply kelp, it's ridiculous. It'd be like me telling you, well, you got to apply fertilizer. Well, what are we applying? NPK, calcium, zinc. It's such a broad generalization, and it's not always a good condition for the farmer. So a farmer's now going to use kelp. I mean, that's a night or day difference.
Well, and it's just so important of understand. I mean, it's more than just biostimulants. It's everything that's on the farm, making sure we understand intentionality with that product, right?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times I sit here as an agronomist making recommendations. Like, there's trials that I want to do, but I also want to know if that trial doesn't work, what was going on, instead of just going blindly into it. What are some possibilities of it working the way we thought it would, or if it doesn't, being able to start rattling, okay, these are the options, not just saying, well, it didn't work and walking away. That's not how I work.
Oh yeah, no. And it ruins a really good product for everyone.
Yeah.
So if we're using the kelp out of place, now you're going to think, oh, kelp doesn't work.
Yeah.
And now, but it was user error, and not necessarily the user's fault, because the label's just kelp.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I'm kind of looking at a 10,000 foot view. I understand like what you're saying about the process of finding the right species of kelp. Okay. But I'm thinking of my grower right now. He's saying that's too much time for me to start doing that research, diving into that research. So maybe what I'm asking here is, if there was one time to influence with a kelp, where have you seen the biggest bang for your buck throughout the growth of, let's just say, corn and or beans?
Well, okay, then I guess I really then did see. Now you're asking me to kind of put my foot in the mouth here. So let's stop first and say I'm gonna generalize all species.
Okay.
And so I there is a time for each species to be applied.
Okay.
But let's just take that variability out of it for the minute.
Yep.
One of the things that all kelps do is they're very good at stress reduction.
Okay.
So let's assume you picked the right species off the bat so that the hormone profile matches that hormone stage in the plant. There's a lot of anti-stress compounds that you'll find in all kelps.
Okay.
So I would apply it at a stressful timing. Maybe that's a herbicide application on a GMO crop. Maybe that's heat stress. Maybe that's tasseling.
Okay.
So these are timings just generally across the board in all plants where they're very susceptible to stress, and that's your major yield limitation.
Okay.
So, and a lot of that are the antioxidants and saponic acids and just generally things that stop the plant stress pathway.
Okay.
Think of a plant's life, right? Yeah, any crop. It's the plant doesn't necessarily have to live to be a successful individual in this world. The plant needs to successfully set seed, and that seed
Yes.
needs to drop to the ground.
Yes.
When's the most stress-tolerant time of any plant? In the seed, in the shell. So when this all goes back to hormones, and when a plant's under stress, a plant makes energy and takes CO2 from the air. It makes sugars, and it does this through, truly a miracle of a molecule, the chloroplast.
Yep.
And inside there is the chlorophyll, and these are called phospholipids. Really, really simply, phospholipids are like butter. They're literally fat.
Yep.
So when we take that butter out of the refrigerator in the morning, it is hard. And if you try to spread that, it rips apart your bread. Then if you just lay it out, and I'm from Houston, Texas, so if you lay that one out outside for a little while, it's just a pile of oil. And
Yep.
it's equally hard to spread on the bread. Now, when plants are in perfect conditions, the butter's very soft, and the light hits it, and then that light, almost all of it's utilized, and the energy is directed to where it needs to go. But if that butter's a little too hard or a little too soft, there's a lot of extra energy that just bounces off. It doesn't hit the membranes.
Got you. Yeah.
And a plant, I mean, even a plant under drought is likely in that 90% water range. So that extra energy hits the water and it creates hydrogen peroxide. And the same stuff in that brown bottle that you put on your cut and it bubbles. And
Yep.
I have slides for this when I'm up on stage. You know, and those bubbles are the signal for another hormone called ethylene. And ethylene is the ripening hormone. The banana, the tomato, the green tomato turns red. It's a gas. It's really cool, but it's also the stress hormone. So it induces flowering. It induces ripening. It induces ABA, and it helps the plant make a strong seed. And then the plant wins. You know, it sets seed. It falls to the ground, and it lives to fight another day.
Well, and it's so interesting about ethylene. I mean, I've seen this one in.
Guys, if you like the information that you've seen so far, go ahead and check out the full-length podcast on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. It's also on all the major podcast platforms. We're constantly dropping info and more content on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Check it out for a lot more content.